Hi, I'm Brian, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Ba-ba-bam-bam. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Wow.
What
Feeling
a
good
time
today.
to be alive.
We have watched a lot of Hallmark movies so far this holiday season, and we've coined it the year of the spectacle.
The year of the spectacle. Is that what we coined it?
I don't know.
It's a spectacle.
The
There's
year
been lots
of
of
the spectacle.
There's been lots of glasses,
There have been.
and I thought
We didn't want to be missing out.
we didn't want to be missing out.
Every day Brian comes in here and he brags about his glasses and how we don't have any, and
Throw it
he
in
does.
your face. And
so we decided
to do
to
it.
join the glasses gang.
The glasses gang.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
It feels good.
It does. And if you were watching on the old, see, look at that.
You guys look great.
It's great. Normal, not ostentatious glasses.
Yeah. Crystal clear.
If you're watching on the philo.tv/DTH, you're going to see us in all our bespectacled glory.
You sure
True.
are.
That's right.
There have still
Yeah.
continued.
The kill
Still continued
The
to
kill's
be.
still on? It is still on.
It's still
That's
on.
later.
Thought the
Yeah.
glasses would
Still
help with
continue to be
this.
some people that want to watch the show and they don't know how because we have switched to Philo. I know
That's
there's
right.
still some people. So come join us. The great thing about that is you can watch the movie on Philo that we're talking about and then jump right on over to the old Deck the Hallmark channel. Find us on there and find the episode. It's a lot of fun.
Bingo.
So there you go. Philo.tv/DTH. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We watched this movie that we're getting ready to talk about on Philo and had a wonderful time doing it. The Magical Stocking. The Mahogany.
The holiday
movie.
stocking.
What did I say?
The magical stocking.
You
It is
wish.
magical in the sense. No.
Okay.
Not this one.
It's a holiday stocking. Did you know their last name is the Holiday? Not the Holiday. Did you know their last names? Did you know that their last
Dan the Holiday.
Did you know that their last name's Holiday? in this
Yes,
movie?
Yeah.
because her name's Danny Holiday.
You did say it, right?
So
They say it a bunch.
yeah, but so when
That's
they
why
call
it's
it
magical.
when they call it the holiday
Yeah,
stocking,
it's the family stocking.
okay. So what's something that you guys have been up to this week?
So that makes it magical.
What have you guys been doing?
Just
Hey,
looking
can I
through
ask
my
you
glasses.
this?
Please do.
We are getting dangerously close to Christmas Con, and by dangerously close, I mean Brian and I are hopping on a plane tomorrow morning
Bright and
Yeah.
early.
to head on up to Jersey. Dan will be up on Saturday.
Yes, I will.
But we're very excited to see everybody. Come on by.
Come say hi.
We have a booth. We've got a whole little section just for taking pictures with people, which will be a lot of fun instead of it just being like hodgepodge beluga out there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Come say hi.
Exclusive merch.
Exclusive merch just for the folks that
Con.
find us live
That's
there
right.
at the Christmas Con.
And we got the
find us.
books. We'll have the books there. You can buy a copy.
Both
We'll sign it
books.
for you.
Both
That's
books.
Right.
I'll
That's
be
right.
home for Christmas movies. And
When's
Is
it
it
going to
gonna be Christmas again?
That's right.
and let's see, anything else I was saying? Guys, so the guy who created Sprite, Jason Sprite,
Jay Sprite? Yeah.
Jay Sprite,
Jay Sprite.
Jay Sprite called us up and asked if we wanted to do something.
What does that mean?
Does the J stand for something?
Jason.
Okay.
So
He did say Jason
I
Sprite.
know. It's an RJ joke. It's an...
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Jason
work.
Sprite asked if we want to do something. And so what I want to know from the people in the chat
Ooh.
is what's something that we could do with Sprite. Jason Sprite.
Drink it? Is that off the table? Is that too basic? Or
I don't think we can
I
just
don't think
drink
that
it.
Jay Sprite is reaching out just for us to
drink it.
drink the Sprite.
Sprite. Okay.
Right.
There's
It's
no
not
way.
Something
That's not
bigger.
so-
Think bigger.
Something bigger
Yeah,
than
yeah,
something bigger than us, something bigger than Sprite.
That's right. Together.
Together.
Dude, what if we had a DTH Sprite flavor?
What
You know
would
how
it
they
be?
do like the cranberry, whatever it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
What if we had one?
What would it be?
Well, I don't know.
Fudge?
Brambleberry?
Peppermint and fudge?
Brambleberry Sprite.
Wow.
Yeah.
now
See,
we're
now we're
talking.
talking. Now we're clicking on all
That's
cylinders.
good.
It's the glasses that make me smarter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you could tell it's really kicking
tell you.
into
You
a
see
new
that
level.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? Yeah.
Reese's Cup Sprite.
Yes.
Someone said. I don't even know what to do with that. We'll get back to you, Jason Sprite, though. Thank you so much for calling, buddy. You
One of the
guys
worst
ready to
things
talk
we've ever
about?
done.
That's one of the weirdest things we've ever done.
Worst.
Oh, worst. Who knows? The holiday stocking, everybody. The holiday stocking.
It's the holiday stocking.
The holiday stocking where you got the sock and you pull out a riddle, then you read the riddle, then you do some charity, then you have some fun, and you argue with your family because it is the holiday stocking. It originally aired on December 3rd. December 3rd, and it went.
December
Did you freeze?
December 3rd. Freeze, boy!
That was crazy that you messed that up.
Yeah.
And it went a little something like this. Good news, everyone. We have narration. Everyone. We see a family celebrating their first Christmas without their father. The kids are Robert, Marlo, and Danny. They are playing their family game, their family tradition of the holiday stocking. The holiday stocking. So doop-de-doo. Basically, you find the stocking, it's hidden, read a riddle that's in it, and then you get to pick the good deed that you do as a family that day. Robert is the one telling the story, and we cut to present day. He's older, and he's dead. He can ascend to heaven.
He's older, and he's dead.
He can ascend to heaven, but first, he wants to mend the relationships between his sisters who haven't spoken in a long time. They didn't speak at his funeral. That really bothered him. So he's talking to his supervisor. Her name is Sarah. Sarah throws that idea up to the old big man upstairs, and big man upstairs sends down an envelope that says he can have 12 days to repair that relationship. Sarah turns Robert into someone named RJ, and we're all better for it. We're all better for it. And gives him a snowflake pin.
Yeah.
So that he can be seen by humans as RJ. He is now younger. He's now a hunk. And I am now worried that his sister is going to fall in love with him.
Wow.
We then meet Danny Holiday, who appears to be doing very well for herself. Is that Catan?
Couture.
Dang it.
Catan, the settlers
Settlers of Catan? You got any sheep? Got any rock?
You got wheat? I'll trade you 3 weeks for 2 sheep.
I got lots of rock.
Oh, this here's
I'll
Catan.
give you my rock.
There's your wheat.
No.
I'm not trading with you because you wouldn't give me sheep earlier.
Yes.
You sheep shifter?
Did you change glasses?
What are you talking about? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
So she's getting ready for the Christmas party when RJ rings the doorbell, gives her a card, and asks her to meet him the following day. It's her brother's Christmas gift to her. Then we meet Marlo, who's running the family bakery, is married and has a daughter, and she also gets a note. It tells her to meet RJ at the market. Marlo does not show up at the market. Danny does, but doesn't have time to do the holiday stocking this year. He goes to find Marlo. She says she's just too busy with the bakery to do the stocking. Danny finds out that a potential investor in the company won't invest unless they see her do some charity work. So she, what are you doing?
What in the world?
And so,
just keep doing your thing, Fran. What are you worried about so much?
This right here. Oh. Brian crawled, everybody, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So not going to invest in the company unless they start seeing that she does some charity work. So she meets back up with RJ and tells him that she's in, and she gets partnered up with a hunk of a man to decorate some houses for Christmas. Marlo realizes that her daughter is very selfish. She likes her phone and whatnot, and so she realizes that doing the holiday stocking tradition is going to help her daughter become less selfish. So when Danny comes into the bakery and Marlo finds out that Danny did a riddle without her, she gets mad and is like, we need to do this together. Danny asks Marlo if they can start over. They realize that they want to do this together. Gives them a clue, and the sisters don't know the answer. They're walking through the Christmas market. They run into RJ. They become very I don't know, unsure about RJ. RJ just says he's like, is
Doesn't
here
know
on
his own last name.
Yeah, doesn't know his. Well, that's what happened. So they're like, hey, we should look him up. What's his last name? He says, hold that thought. Walks out, goes talks to the angel, top angel, and they gave him a name, RJ Angel. Which sounds
RJ
like a
Angel,
which sounds
you're my darling angel. What's my last name? It's RJ Angel.
baby. It sounds like a bit we would do. I'm RJ Angel.
Nice to meet you. Go
Um,
out.
So they're hanging out. They're having a lot of fun. They're talking to each other for the first time. Marlo's opening up about kind of feeling like she hasn't been together with her husband in a long time. Like her husband's always gone, and so they're gonna go out on the town. They're gonna have a lot of fun. At the same time, Danny's watching The Bakery, and then she's with the hunk of a man that I don't think I ever wrote his name down, but he's great. And realizes that she's only doing this because of needing to be notarized for a charity, and he like gets upset about that.
Notarized?
Notarized. like
Never find a notary.
like
He needs to be notarized for charity?
they need to notice it. Notarized.
I guess. Yeah.
No?
Nowhere
Yeah.
near it, man.
No?
No.
If you need to be noticed for something,
Yeah.
you need the notoriety.
The notoriety. There it is. There it is. We found it. We did it, everybody. Notoriety.
Notaries can go away now. Go away, notary. So Danny is adopted. Marlo finds out that Danny's going to be doing an interview for Wake Up Chicago about the charity, and she's like, "This has all been so that you can get some more notaries." And she's like, "No, it's not like that." Gets really upset. RJ is also like wanting to. He's really sad now that the sisters are upset. Starts to like leave them different things to help them know that he loves them. Not RJ, but the original guy. Danny does end up going on Wake Up Chicago to talk about the holiday stocking tradition, and she drops a bomb of facts. She says that she is going to she's going
Bomb
to
of facts.
yes, she's stepping back from her company, and she's just going to go do good things now. Maybe she'll help out with the bakery. I don't know. But she's just happy that she's reconnected with her sister, and she doesn't need this company anymore. She's realized that doing good is good. RJ gives the sister a framed that gives them the picture of the family, kind of sets up an area that looks like what their living room looked like when they were children, and gives them a box full of stuff from when they were kids. And they invite him to family Christmas. RJ declines. He starts tearing up. He hugs them both. And as he's getting ready to leave, he's like holding his hand on the door, and he's looking at his sisters, and his sisters are looking at him. And then it cuts back to the sisters. It cuts back to him, and it's him in original form.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there we go back to them, and they're like, what? Goes back, and then it's RJ again, and RJ walks out the door, and they're just like, did you see that? What was that about? They realize that he dropped his pendant, the snowflake pendant. And so they run outside to find him, and it is snowing. We then see RJ looking up at a tree. The tree, he does like a snap thing, lights up, and it goes back to the sisters, and they're like, you know what that means? An angel gets his wings. Because that's what Mom used to say, and It's a Wonderful Life. And that, my friends, was the Holiday Stocking.
We did it.
We did do it, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with the hot take, all the feels, and the rest. Here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Where are you at?
I'm doing a thing because I've got glasses. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. It's your guy, Bran, talking with my guys, Dan and Brian, about this movie. We're going to start with the hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. And I'm going to start with you, Brian. Brian, You look good, by the way, with
Thanks,
the glasses
man.
on.
Thanks, man.
You look wonderful.
Thank
You
you.
look great. You do look like a kid getting ready to sing a solo at the show.
It was picture day at my kid's elementary school.
Silent night.
Holy night. I thought I was teaching a class today, but I got my days mixed up.
That's right. So it's on you. It's on
We've
you.
all been there. What do you think about the holiday stocking?
Holiday stocking. So this movie, yeah, I was touched by this movie, and you just hope that after someone passes in your family or someone you know, they visit you in spirit, and you can sense that and experience that. And I thought that's a really beautiful thought, and I like this story idea a lot. And anytime that RJ was with his family, I really enjoyed that, watching that, because we were privy to what was going on. We knew how much it meant to him and what he was trying to do. Anytime he wasn't on the screen, I was making notes or thinking about RJ being on the screen, because him being on the screen and carrying this movie was the important part to me, and everything else was just like, okay, all right, just getting back to RJ on the screen. The snow. So can I tell you how I thought it was going to end? What I thought.
Sure, tell it.
Yeah,
Because Dan and I also have
very
theories.
specific idea.
Oh, you do? Okay. So I was hoping the snow pig, when they were hugging, I was thinking the pin was going to fall off. He was going to disappear. And then they were going to look around, look at the Polaroid. And it would be,
It would be the old RJ.
He wouldn't be in it. I didn't think he would be in
It would
it.
be-
I thought it would be the old RJ.
See, that would work too.
Either one
And they
would work.
Either one. And they would realize the whole thing and realize what happened. And then the song would play and he would get his wings.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. Okay, that was fine. The ending was fine. It was pretty good. The whole I'm glad it all worked out. So this was pretty good for me. It's gonna float sort of around the middle, the bottom, down a little bit below the middle line.
It's going to float sort of around the middle, the bottom.
the bottom of the
is
middle.
what you just said.
Under the middle.
Okay.
Under
It's
the
floating
middle.
in there like a
Malcolm
snowflake.
in the middle. Yeah.
So there.
So I didn't. We're at the part of the season where I just don't know really anything about these movies. You know, I feel like we know a lot about the movies at the beginning of the
And we
year,
knew nothing.
and then we get the big movies in the middle of of November, heading into Thanksgiving, and then you get to December, and you're like, "What's that movie? This movie? Did they announce this movie?" So I didn't know anything about this movie going into it, and I left this movie loving this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. I thought that the family was great. A lot of fun around them. The performance by RJ, the guy who played RJ,
BJ Britt.
just above and beyond. Like maybe the best performance of the year.
Whoa. You're just saying things now.
I'm saying maybe.
Maybe.
I'm leaving it open for interpretation.
And I take you more seriously with those glasses.
I know.
Than I would have otherwise.
Yeah.
But just a fantastic performance. I do agree. I do feel like the ending was botched a little bit. Could have been like a real
Yeah.
Like I pump faked when they took the picture, and we were like, "Oh,
Pump faked?
I pump
Fist pump.
fist pumped."
Yep.
When I realized what they were going to do, and then when they didn't do what I realized they were going to do,
Notarized it, right?
I was
Notarized
notarized.
that.
And so disappointed by the last minute of this movie, but overall thoroughly enjoyed. It'll float somewhere towards the middle top,
middle
Look
bottom.
at it floating
middle
around
top, floating
middle
towards the
top.
middle top for me.
Like
Yes.
a snowflake.
Yeah.
It may end up. I don't know. It may end up in the top 10 at this point.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that if he's in the Polaroid, then I feel like this
Yeah.
was maybe borderline top 5 for me. Falls in that category of if Hallmark movies are your thing, I don't know how you don't love this movie. Hallmark movies are not my thing, and so for me, I would never watch this movie again. But there's a lot to appreciate here, and I think BJ Britt's job as RJ is at the top of the list. The movie felt very sincere. It had a really heartwarming story. It was sad in parts, and so they had a lot going for it. It is kind of goofy with the angel that's just like 20 years ago CG level disappearing. I wasn't crazy about that. Some of the other stuff felt weird. Like nobody buys her as this marketing executive. That was kind of weird. But when it worked, it worked. And most of the time it works is when RJ's on the screen. And so, yeah, it's definitely top 10 for me. And if he's in the Polaroid at the end and they're staring at that Polaroid and they see their brother and they're like happy crying, like, that's the end of this movie.
I
Like,
can't
that
believe they
movie-
ended the movie without showing us the Polaroid.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Because even
real missed opportunity.
Huge.
now I'm just dying to know, like, fast forward to what the Hallmark, but like, what is in that picture?
Yeah.
What, how good is this snow? Because the snowflake is that that humans will see you.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. It probably is a what the Hallmark, but she says as long as this pin's on, you'll be recognized in human form.
Right.
So when the pin falls off, they see him very quickly as the real deal.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
and then they see him walk out the door without
the pin on. That's a huge what the Hallmark.
Yeah.
And what they could have done is he's gone. He disappeared. That stays consistent. And then they look down. For some reason in the Polaroid, it's the old boy.
Well, that's the thing. The easy thing here is to give the hug, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And to then look down at the picture, see that it is their brother, and then you look up and he's gone because he dropped the pendant.
Exactly.
Yes. That's the way. Come on. Like,
Well,
to do it this well and then just drop the ball there. I just can't
They
believe it.
took the picture.
Yes.
I
They did
couldn't
all the
believe
hard
it.
work.
I couldn't believe it. When they took the picture, Dan and I got out of our seats.
We were like, this is it.
We
This
started
is
throwing
it.
a party.
Haymaker.
Let's get to all the feels. Let's talk about what this video gave us as feels. Brian?
Yeah. So if they'd landed the plane there with the photo, that would have been the feels for me. Whatever it was, whether it was nobody there or the brother. But I had two kind of funny feels that I wrote down, and one thing that I realized is, for me, the person talking to a ghost or an angel that no one else can see will always work for me. That will always kill. I can't not laugh at that. And then the overblown disagreement. Marlo says something really funny to her daughter. She says, "Stop using my words to prove your point," and I thought that was really funny.
Great.
That's it.
Great job.
Thanks.
That's really good.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, I think the biggest, like when they, at the end of this movie, when they're hugging and it cuts back to them as siblings hugging, cut back, like that was great. And while there's so much about the end that was frustrating, there was also bits about the end tying it together with like the fact that they had the living room set up and those things worked and was beautiful, and is what you think of when you think about the holidays, is hopefully good memories with family, hopefully. And so the fact that they're back together and we're seeing these little flashes of their childhood was really nice. Dan?
Yeah, I appreciated the integrity with which the story was told. I know that the ghost aspect of it is really, really goofy, but the fact that all three of these siblings, where they were when their parents died or when the mom got sick and died, kind of bore out in their personalities. And so one of them is like, I'm going to throw money at it because I can't deal with it. The other one's like, I'm going to be there. My presence is the most important thing. And the third one was on Financial Times and was too embarrassed to come back. And I think to have those three journeys and you see that none of them were the right response, it would have been very easy for the character, the sister who stayed there the whole time, to have the moral high ground. But she really doesn't, because she's not been great to her daughter when it comes to her aunt. And so it was good to see like the perfect imperfection of all three and the integrity with which all of them kind of get back together. So I just appreciated that like portrayal of siblings, where the romance of this movie was the C or D storyline, and it never ever took center stage. I thought that integrity was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take one more quick break and we'll come back to the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark on WCAR. Vroom.
Joe's.
Welcome back,
It's so
everybody.
good to be back.
We're talking
It is.
about the holiday stocking here on the Vroom, and let's do this. Let's get to the Wait What's. Let's go with you, Brian. Brian, what in this movie made you go Wait What?
Okay. Couple wait what's here for me.
Okay.
I should have narrowed these down beforehand. So the investor pulling out of the deal for the marketing company due to lack of philanthropic efforts would have happened way earlier in the process.
And that happens all the time. You know how investors are with giving their money.
It would have been known, because an investor who their number one thing is what are you doing for community outreach? Like, that's why they invest.
That's
they
right.
pick those
That's
companies
right.
on purpose.
When they send that money out, what's most important is not that money comes back.
Right. No. They
It's
want to
that
help.
you're doing good with it.
But there are investors who their number one thing is like, all right, you have to be doing good. Like that, I'm only investing in companies that are doing good. They would have done that. That would have come back immediately that she wasn't doing that. And then, but you know what will result in an investor pulling their funding is you resigning as CEO on TV and handing it off to someone that the investors don't know much about.
Definitely.
So that would definitely ruin your funding, not secure it. And you don't have to I don't think you have to resign as CEO to volunteer or even to give somebody else in the company more work, more responsibility. Like,
Sure
you
don't.
could stay. You could just be the board, the chairperson of the board. And then there is one thing. I don't know if you guys got this. I hope my math is off on this. On the screen, it says, at one point it says 1 day till Christmas, and the family went sledding that day. I took that as meaning it's Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Then, and she said, I have an interview tomorrow, which would be Christmas Day. Then the next day comes and she's at the interview and it says on the screen Christmas Eve. So they messed that up a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Maybe there was like the morning and then the evening somehow. I don't know. It does seem like the last 2 days lasted like 4 or 5.
Yeah. And I think maybe what they meant was 1 day until the day before Christmas. I just think they were off on the counting by a little. It could have been clarified. And so Marlo, in the middle of the night, I think it was, she got a text alert that her oven was broken. All of a sudden she had to rush off to her bakery because she has maybe she's got a fancy app with her nice oven there, and then she just switches it over to going from her regular. Usually in bakeries you'll have a nice convection oven, special ovens, just right over to the barbecue joint and use just their regular standard oven, no problem there. And the last one I'll just say here: when Marlo pulled her mom's old, quote unquote, old apron out of the box, it looked like something she picked up at Target as a Black Friday deal. Thing did not have a spot on it. So that's it for me.
Well, that's because mom was just that good.
She's that good. She didn't
no flour getting anywhere or
no
nothing.
brown sugar, no brown butter.
Never had to wash it.
My biggest wait what in this movie, and I thought about it immediately the first time they do the holiday stocking, was what's the point of the riddle?
Yeah, that's my number one.
Really?
That's my number one.
What is the point of the riddle? Because basically the whole point of the thing is to volunteer as a family, right? So why not just put like where we're going to volunteer it? Like I guess the riddle is so that they work together as siblings.
Wasn't it?
I guess,
to
but
the grandfather.
It was. They tell the backstory, but I want to be clear, and I wrote this down. So the way I understand this is they can't actually serve their community until they solve a riddle.
Until they figure out the riddle.
That seems a little backwards, right? Like you serving and volunteering and helping others can't come until you solve this meaningless riddle that's a Christmas joke.
Yeah.
You gotta earn it. You gotta earn your
But I also felt bad
service.
for Robert early on because Robert finds the stocking and then gets nothing for it. His sister's the one who gets to read it because she took it from him.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even get to pick where they go to volunteer.
Why even find it?
Why even try?
Yeah.
Why even try to find it, sweet Robert? This is the first time in a movie, like a Hallmark movie, that I can remember in quite a few years. I remember one in like 2015, 2016 that they did actual sledding without a green screen.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And like now we know why. Because it was so weird, like clearly not real snow, and so like the sled was so slow on the
It's like
snow.
a 3-degree decline.
And so like to fix it, they put it in slow motion, which was an interesting thing. Like, hey, maybe if we put it in slow motion, people won't notice. I don't know, but it was something. So when they both get the text, message towards the end of this movie to come to the bakery, and before the text message, before they check the phone, they both hear their mom's song playing.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like Carolers Outside or something, but then they both get to the thing and they're just like, "Did you hear mom's song before the text?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I just didn't really know what to do with that. I didn't know what to do with that information, that there's just a random song that played that one time. Christmas magic, here for it. I just also didn't know why necessarily. I don't know. I would have been more bothered by it as a person. Yeah. I would have probably not gone to the bakery.
Right.
I would have been so like what is going on my phone that it's caught, like it's doing this thing. I would have been very worried about it, but that's just me. That's how I'm wired. And the last thing, this movie ends with it's starting to snow. We see RJ do the snap thing and he has magic. And then she says it's just like mom always said, every time it snows, you get the angel's getting its wings, which was just an interesting, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing is such a famous line, from the end of a Christmas movie that it was just interesting to just be like every time it snowed. Like let's just take the line and change it.
There's a better ending. Like
Sure.
it just seemed like such a
It was
stodgy.
it was a weird line to end the movie since it's basically It's a Wonderful Life, but just a different thing that symbols an angel getting its wings, and also there was the better ending. So the whole thing there was just like a what? Dan?
Yeah, getting over the fact that they have to solve a riddle to serve the community was difficult. Only really like 3 others. One is they want to make sure we know that they know what couture is in this movie. And boy, do they hammer that home that she wears couture. So good for her. Is this the worst assistant or worker of a bakery of all time? This woman who says she has to bake it all herself, and the assistant early in the movie is like, hey, can I help? Can I do that? Her daughter's like, can I help? Can I do that? She says no. She's talking to her sister, and her sister's like, I will come down there myself and pull cupcakes out of the oven for you. You have an employee. Yeah. They can't open up the door of the oven and just...
Yeah, day one, you hire that person. They are doing all the baking
that's
for
right.
you.
Yeah. The first day that you go in, it's like, rule number 1, if a timer dings...
Every time a timer dings.
Remove a cupcake gets his icing. Like, you remove the cupcake from the oven.
It's like Mom always said.
I don't know how to bake, and I could do that job. She has to have her sister trek all the way down there in Chicago to pull cupcakes out of an oven. I didn't understand that. But my favorite one is all movie long, they are very suspicious of RJ. Like all movie, they're like, what's his last name? How does he know this information? My dad's assistant's never heard of you. Your social media looks weird.
How does he always know where we are?
How does he know where we are? He shows up. It's just, they're so suspicious. So at the end of this movie, they're suspicious of this character, RJ. At the end of this movie, they show up, and the inside of the bakery has been recreated like their childhood home. And out walks RJ. Do they call the police? No. Are they scared to death? No. Do they ask questions? No. They consider it thoughtful. I'm just telling you, if that was someone who, like, all movie long, I'm like, I don't know about this dude. I don't know about him. When he recreates my childhood home in a bakery, I'm not going to be like, classic RJ, you got us again, buddy. Really thoughtful stuff. I'm going to be like, somebody call the police. This is creepy. It was terrifying, and they didn't say anything at all about it.
I loved it. So it was made for me, tailor-made. Let's talk about those, what the hallmarks, those questions that we still have. You got any?
Yeah, number 1, are those glasses couture?
There they are.
Yeah. We are sponsored here.
What did I say in the
Catan?
Catan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're Catan too.
Catan, yeah.
It's going to cost you a lot of lumber.
A couple rocks and some wheat. The only one mine's embarrassing, and it's the lead angel, like the boss lady angel.
Yeah.
But she pulls a riddle out for RJ at one point, and she pulls it out of like this hidden fanny pack that she's got. And I'm just here to say, are fanny packs in? Because I love the idea of having a fanny pack and just throwing all this stuff. And I've given them as sort of like, quote unquote, joke gifts to people where I'm actually like inside, I'm like, man, I hope he gives it back to me.
You've given fanny packs as gifts.
Yeah, 2 of them particularly, ridiculously looking ones. But I think it's super convenient to have a fanny pack laying around just in case.
So you're asking if you can wear a fanny pack?
I'm just asking if you guys think that it's...
No, fanny packs are back in.
All right,
yes.
Cool.
Yes,
that's
a
what I'm
fact.
Yes.
So it's not just me.
No.
You can get one.
I could?
And as proven
Thanks.
by this combo, you'll do anything.
Yeah, since when did you care about what was in?
Because I've gotten a lot of pushback on fanny packs as gifts, and I'm just like, I feel
What do you mean you've gotten a lot of pushback
don't
as
seem to
fanny
get
Who
packs?
is sitting there going, Brian?
My
no.
dad.
How you've given
your dad.
my brother?
Okay, fair,
you've given
fair,
your
fair.
dad and brother fanny packs for Christmas?
Yeah.
Since when?
The last couple of years. And I think they're great ideas, and each time I get looks like funny looks. I'm just like,
What
you
are the
guys,
looks?
you guys, there's going to be a day.
Can you give it to me one more time? Yep. So mine is, I don't know. They say this, and I don't really know. Okay, so at the beginning of this movie, she says, you're going to get 12 days to do this. And he's like, 12 days? And she says, the big guy, he has a thing for the number 12.
Yeah.
And gives him a few examples, such as 12 disciples. Sure, 12 tribes. Sure. The 12 days of Christmas. What?
Wait a minute.
Are we? Did God write the 12 days of Christmas?
Man.
Was that his
I think
handiwork?
he's just a big fan.
Was that his handiwork? I don't know.
He allowed it.
I guess so. I didn't know that. I didn't know the 12 days of Christmas was a thing that was done by the good Lord.
Right up there with the apostles.
Yeah, we got in this order of things that I love. 12 days of Christmas, and then everything else. Dan?
Yeah, 3 words. Christmas tree maze.
Yes.
There is an indoor Christmas tree maze in this movie. And for the life of me, I don't know how you make that a maze that is difficult in the slightest. Like the thing about corn is it all grows, the stalks right from the ground make it hard to see through. You have rows and rows and rows. I feel like if you just get down and plank, you could just see under all the Christmas trees and you'd be pretty set here. And the maze that they give us is pretty flimsy. I want to know whose idea it was. I don't know who they think they were fooling. I just can't believe it was a thing.
There's just not enough room in there to do a proper maze.
No, not even close.
Not enough room. You know what? When I went to my church's fall harvest one year when I was a kid, they did a full. You know how you have like a second building where it's like the Awana's room and then like other classrooms. They did a full like box maze where you're not walking, you're crawling inside boxes that are connected. It was one of the most impressive things and also terrifying because once you're in, you're in.
Yes.
But it like you could get lost in there for a while.
I love it.
So shout out to First Baptist Mims. Just in regards to the maze, I don't know anything else about what they're doing now. And I just want to put that on.
Shout out.
Just want to put that on.
Shout out with reservation.
That's exactly right. All right, we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done. We got one more episode tomorrow, and I believe we have a friend joining us tomorrow, which is gonna be a lot of fun.
Fancy.
Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Noah's name. It's recorded live in that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.